This party started.
Official bell.
We call this meeting to order. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Beaumont, the 72nd club founded in the world. Our invocation today is going to be given by Jennifer Gregory, Human Resource Officer with Beaumont Housing Authority, followed by our pledges from John Lee, Business Advisor at Lamar University Small Business Development Center. Jennifer?
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to start with one of my favorite prayers, the Serenity Prayer. So if you could bow your heads. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as the pathway to peace, taking, as he did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that he will make all things right if I surrender to his will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with him forever in the next. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, if you would please join me in the pledge to the U.S. flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation, God,
under God,
indivisible, with
liberty and justice for all.
And for Texas, honor the Texas
Texas
flag.
flag.
I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the Texas,
one state
under God,
one
and indivisible.
Thank you. Now we have a little club business to take care of before our speakers start. Brad Brown, President-elect, is going to introduce our new member.
Yes, I'm happy to introduce Dee Lane to the club. After a career of selling commercial fire alarms and security systems for 37 years, Dee decided one day in January to take a fun job selling event and meeting spaces at Coshada Resort. Then the pandemic struck. So these days, Dee is working from home in her home in Nederland. I understand that house remodeling has become a forte for Dee, and understand that she's pretty good at it. And yes, Coshada is open, or yeah. Odds are. Dee has 3 adult children and 8 grandchildren, 2 sets of twins, each from different parents, thank goodness. Dee enjoys spending time with friends and family. She loves to cook, and during isolation, cooked once a week for 5 families and would drop the hot meal off at their door. So that tells you something about her love of people and love of community service. So she's going to be a wonderful addition to the Beaumont Rotary Club. Dee, this isn't the only membership that Dee has. She's a member of a book club for 10 years. So welcome, Dee Lee, to Beaumont Rotary Club.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much. I'm looking forward to it.
So glad to have you, Dee.
Thank you.
Next, I have Lynn Castle, past president, and she is going to introduce the winner of, or the recipient of our non-traditional scholarship.
Hi, everybody. Just to give you a little bit of background again, this is a scholarship that was started the year that I was president 2 years ago. And the student, has to have certain criteria in order to be an applicant. Student delays enrollment or does not enter secondary education in the same calendar year that he or she leaves or finishes high school. And also has to have one of the other criteria, which is attending an institution or learning or training for at least part-time during the year, or works full-time, 35 hours or more per week, or is financially independent on purposes of determining eligibility for financial aid, or has dependents other than a spouse, usually children, or is a single parent, or does not have a high school diploma, in other words, completed high school with a GED or other high school completion, is a veteran of age 24 or older, or is a ward of the court. This scholarship is for this academic year, beginning August of 2020. It's a one-time award of $2,500 or $1,250 per semester for 2 installments, with the payment made directly to the Lamar Institute of Technology. This year we had a wonderful committee, and I thank the committee. They were Carly Broussard, Ed Edson, Leonard Junker, Uliana Trelowski, Bobby Applegate, Diane Bass, and myself. And we had 3 applicants. And our deserving winner this year is Virtue Alexander, who is a member of our club. Virtue, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, thank you all so much. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you to Rotary. I'm holding up my acceptance letter. I'm so excited. I've been home since the pandemic started, and one of my dreams was to always go back to school. All of my kids have had the opportunity to go to college and graduate, and I made a promise that when they did, I would go back to school. And sitting in the back of Cindy Cherry's truck for Flag Day, I was talking to Cindy and Ellen, and we were talking about what am I doing with myself? And I said, you know what? I think I'm gonna go back to school, and reached out to Cindy and Jackie, applied for the scholarship, and I'm the recipient. I'm so grateful and excited. And I actually started school last week on my 50th birthday.
And Virtue, what are you studying?
I am studying business management, hopefully to get my business degree, start off with my 2-year and then go on and get my 4-year bachelor's degree.
And it was very serendipitous because when I called Virtue to tell her that she was awarded the scholarship, it happened to be her birthday. So what a great birthday present, right?
Yes, it was the most wonderful birthday present I ever received.
Well, congratulations. We're very proud of you.
Thank you all so much.
Yes, congratulations, Virtue.
Thank you.
Next, I have Sherry Pierce, Chair of the Wind Down with Rotary Committee, and she has an announcement. Sherry?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm sorry, I have a repairman here. So, okay, wind down. We want to do wind down. It's not going to look like the fun party that we've had, but we think it still can be fun. We're trying to, be sensitive to what all we have to do to keep our health this time. So we've got a committee, and we've got some options, and we want to present them to the at the board meeting next week, 2 weeks, whenever the 28th, whenever that is. So if you were a former sponsor, you probably have gotten a letter. And an email. And if you, well, actually, I think Jackie said it went out to the entire membership today. So we can't do it without sponsors. That's just one thing we've got to have. So if you want to be a sponsor, please return that survey to Jackie, letting her know. And if you are unable, we understand how businesses are really hurting right now. And if you are unable to be a sponsor like you have in the past, we understand that too. But I ask everybody to please return that survey so we'll have an idea. One of the things we're tossing around is kind of, y'all remember Rotary Goes Home, where you would sign up and you would go to somebody's house and have just kind of a party. Well, we're kind of looking at doing that again, that with our wind down, kind of combining those two. And we would have whatever the number of allowed people is at the time, if it's 10, if it's 15 or whatever. Would go to somebody's house. You'd still have to buy a ticket because remember this is a fundraiser, but you would have a wine tasting and pairings and things like that to go along with it. So we would we'd really appreciate you returning the survey and letting us know if you would be willing to sponsor or if you would be willing to host a group in your house. The wine and the hors d'oeuvres will be provided, and you can add Cheetos if you want. But so what? Just let us know what you are willing to do. Did I cover everything? Did I cover it all, Jackie? Cindy?
I think so.
Cover all the things we talked about. Okay. And if you have any questions or if you want to talk about it, call me or Cindy or Jackie one. And we really hope we can pull it off. The date is The date was set was October the 1st, but we're not sure now. It might be like a week-long thing, you know, to have different nights at different people's houses. So thank you very much. So,
Thank you, Sherry.
okay.
So if
I gotta get back to my repairman.
Sherry needs a dishwasher really bad. So if you get your email on your survey, please fill it out so we can have a report for the board meeting on the 28th. And now Deborah Drago has an announcement for the membership team.
Thank you, Mrs. President. Congratulations, Virtue, and welcome, Dee. Speaking of new members, we're all part of Rotary because we're looking for opportunities. Maybe it's an opportunity to grow your business, make friendships, maybe to drink wine, but it's definitely to make an impact on our community and improve the lives of those in need. We want to curse as well as prospectities. So this is your opportunity to share your ideas and suggestions on how we can make a positive impact on Southeast Texas by infusing it with new Rotarians. We'll host a Zoom conversation. I told Jackie we didn't want to call it a meeting, so we're going to hold a Zoom conversation this afternoon at 4 to share thoughts on engaging current members as well as connecting with new ones. So please let Jackie or myself know if you're interested in attending so we can share the top secret Zoom link with you. So I hope to see you at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Thanks.
Thank you, Deborah. And now introducing our speakers, Cindy Janice, event planning consultant, Bloodworth Enterprises. Take it away.
Well, I was really excited to be asked to introduce these young ladies. I've watched them for many years and had the great privilege of working with their dad at the Beaumont Police Department. The first time I ever heard them sing, I think they sang the national anthem at our first Cops and Kids Carnival we had at the event center. And I remember thinking, wow, those girls really have some pipes. And I had no idea that they were nearly as talented as they are. So I've really been thrilled and proud to watch them pursue their dreams. So we're really fortunate to have Jordan and Madison Skinner with us today. These ladies grew up in Lumberton where their parents, Brian and Christy Skinner, a lot of us know who they are, instilled in them strong values like honesty, the importance of a good education and work ethic, and a love for music. It was clear early on that Jordan and Madison were bright and enthusiastic children with a gift for singing and performing. Guided by the love and encouragement of their parents and surrounded by the diverse music of Southeast Texas, the twins drew upon these influences to hone their talents. After graduating from Lumberton High School in 2014, they chose to boldly pursue their dream and headed to the music mecca of the world, Nashville, Tennessee. There, they attended Beaumont University and earned Bachelor of Arts degrees in commercial music, all the while creating their own unique brand of Americana music through the duo of Jaye Madison, established in 2017. Blues, rock, country, and folk music all contribute to their contemporary soulful sound. Jaye Madison works hard on their singing-songwriting careers and perform live and virtual shows in the Nashville area and also record music videos. Their recently released single, Down, continues to gain attention from international airplay and has been downloaded over 15,000 times. They were also extended an invitation to perform on the Spotlight stage at the CMA Fest 2020 before the event was canceled due to COVID. I'm sure they'll get invited again. Of course, like most aspiring musicians, they have day jobs in addition to their singing songwriting careers. Both Jordan and Madison currently work for B Squared Management. Jordan is Director of Marketing and Branding, where she empowers creatives by aligning them with meaningful and lucrative brand partnerships. Madison is Head of Artist Relations and Social Media Management and creates opportunities for powerful content for B Squared clients. We are so proud of these two homegrown talents and look forward to watching them make it big in the music industry. They will help make Southeast Texas famous. So ladies, please take the stage and let us know how things are going.
Well, thank you so much for that thorough introduction. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
And
for inviting us.
Yes, thank you, Cindy, for inviting us to speak, and just everybody for being here and being interested in our story. We really appreciate it, especially coming from people who, you know, are from our hometown. So
yeah, and you know, we're always going to be Southeast Texas girls at heart. So like, you know, if we make it, Southeast Texas makes it, right? Then we're always going to be like part of this community, and it feels great to like.
And yeah, and Southeast Texas and Beaumont specifically is really where our passion for performing started, with Beaumont community players. I mean, from the age of 6, and this was like before we even moved into the larger theater that they have now. It was like in a little school. I don't remember exactly where, but it was like,
I remember being like so tiny, and just like, I remember the exact dimensions of that building, you know, like the yellow paint peeling. And it's like, because it was like the first time in my life that I really, like, as a shy kid, felt like I could express myself and like, and just be larger than life, you know, for no other reason than just to have fun and to communicate like art to other people. It's just like,
right.
It was just my language. Like, I would hide from waiters underneath the table, like when they'd come by and take my orders. So like, this is a big thing, and that's why community theater is so important for kids.
It gave us a community. It gave us something to look forward to every summer. It gave us a sense of teamwork and knowing, like, no matter how small the role is, it's a huge part of the bigger picture, and each person's role really did matter, because if you didn't do what you're supposed to, it had a domino effect.
Well, and it teaches you work ethic, because you have to hold up the entire team. If you're just like falling down the corner, and then all the audience is going to be looking at you because you're not doing the right dance moves or whatever. So
but yeah, so it definitely started out, you know, as a fun outlet for us, and then it turned into something we just did every single summer. We started out doing like EI Oops. I don't know if anybody remembers that far back into Beaumont community players, but once they moved to the larger theater, you know, we were in Legally Blonde. I played Elle Woods, and that was like one of the most fun experiences of my life.
Yeah, I was Paulette, her best friend on stage, so I got to use a funny accent. Hey there, welcome to the Hair Affair. Yeah, I still can do it.
Footloose, Aladdin, Mulan, like
Aladdin,
so many.
Aladdin was like a big one for me, because that was like my first leading role with BCP, where I was Jasmine. And that's when I just like sort of knew that I wanted to do this for the rest of my life, you know? And then, you know, we go on in our journey to go into classical music. So we're not into like radio stuff yet, because we knew that, you know, scholarships were involved with classical music. It was also because we were in choir, and, you know, it was a way to get training and experience. So we ended up doing that all through high school, and finally our senior year, we made the Texas All-State Choir.
So we were like really into classical music as far as studying it and just growing in that way, and really we felt like we achieved the most out of it that we could have by making the All-State Choir. And at that point, it really took into our senior year to realize that we didn't want to really teach choir, and we also didn't really want to be on Broadway, and we were like, where on earth do we fit like in the music business, because we love it and we, you know, want to be a part of it, but we just didn't know exactly where we fit. And that's when we kind of realized, hey, we can write songs, like we have a perspective, and we have, you know, we love singing other people's songs. It's a passion, but we really want to like create our own thing. And
well, and since when I was like 9 years old, I mean, my parents put me in piano lessons. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for that. I probably should have practiced more, but it's fine.
I should have practiced more.
Thank you to all the parents that are part of this group that have put their kids in piano lessons. It's very helpful for later on. But I would just plunk around on the piano, and I never thought that I could like really write lyrics or melody, because I don't know, you say things to yourself and then it becomes true, you know, and that's like the thing with mindset. I mean, you achieve what you decide you're capable of achieving. So we just sat down one day, you know, I guess it wasn't just one day, but like I was plunking around the piano and she just sang a melody over it. And then we ended up just finding lyrics over time that told a story.
And don't get me wrong, it took a lot of really bad songs to get to good ones. Like there are tons of songs that will never be heard by another human in this world that are just buried to get to the next song. But, you know, it just took practice, it took time, and that's really what led us to Nashville. So that's really what, you know, inspired us to audition for the commercial music program. And then whenever we were accepted, we really were like the smallest fish in the biggest pond.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's not the experience, you know, like in Lumberton, Texas, where, you know, if you sing what you sing, like you're one of the Lumberton singers.
Right.
You know? So it was a big like culture shock. But it was good for us. Yeah. And we learned a lot, and we ended up, I mean, it's important in Nashville, like it's a big culture thing for musicians to network with each other and see us like as a team. Mm-hmm. You know, lots of people see it as like a competition thing, but it's more of a community thing because everyone brings something different to the table. And it's so important to see it that way because like, if you have that competitive, like, I want to bring you down spirit, like people, they
that gets around pretty quick. Yeah.
They pick up on that and they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because music's supposed to be fun. It's not about, you know, stepping on people or anything. And I think that's the case with a lot of different businesses and different industries.
Right.
So,
but yeah, it's been great being in Nashville. We've been surrounded by so many people who are songwriters and creatives, and it really just kind of forced us to just step it up. It's like either we're gonna do it or we're not. Like you gotta just get with it and learn from the people around you. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just been amazing. So within, I think it was our junior year when Hurricane Harvey hit, we were, you know, obviously away from family and friends during that time. And it was really hard to just see everything going on and see everything in the news and know our grandparents' house was flooded. And then my mom had to like get on a boat with our grandparents and, you know, or I don't even know whoever, it's all running together what all happened during that time. But you know, everything's flooded and everybody's, you know,
well, and you see pictures of your hometown that you grew up in, mm-hmm. and like with like water up to the mailboxes for the entire like Keith Road, you know, and it's like, this is not what I remember it being, but like it's we can grow together. We are Texas. Like we're not our environment. We the people are Texas.
Right.
So that's what our first single, Soul of Texas, was supposed to be that song for us. You know, we will make it through this. And it's still applicable now with the pandemic going on because everyone feels affected right now, especially business owners. And that affects musicians as well. Musicians, you know, we're not always seen as business owners, but we really are because we are our own business.
Right.
So we promote ourselves and we try to get these opportunities and play out. And we don't make a lot of money at the front end, but it definitely affected everyone when the pandemic hit.
Right. And so, yeah, Hurricane Harvey was really just kind of the pushing point or the breaking point of getting us to get into the studio and record. So, you know, I'm sitting in class and I just have all these lyrics flowing out about what's going on. So I, you know, run home and show it to Madison. She's like, okay, let's put it to music. Then we get in the studio within like 3 weeks after that, put out a music video for it, you know, covering, you know, everything going on with Hurricane Harvey and things like that. So that was really like our first single that we released, and it was dedicated to, you know, the people of Southeast Texas and you guys. Like it was about home. So that seems to be a typical theme that we cover in our music.
Right, but it was important. It was an important shift in what we did because we've gone through every genre of music. We have musical theater, classical, like doing all the different genres as a commercial music major because, you know, that's part of the degree. You learn everything and you're like, who am I? What do I want to say? And how do I want to say it? Because there's a lot of different options as far as what to do.
Right.
So we went back during that. Like, I think that hurricane came at the time where we're like, oh, like, this is who we are. This is,
And we were hesitant to accept it at first, because when we first came to Nashville, we're like, well, everybody's country here, so we have to be indie pop or something obscure that nobody else does.
We were never indie pop.
No.
We never sounded that way. We always had this country kind of thing about us.
Southern grit.
But this country thing, like, I think Texas is largely ignored in the country music industry in a lot of ways, because we don't have that typical twang that's just added on. Because it's more of a draw, you know, it's more like, hey, I went down to the store and, you know, it all runs together. But that's just as much about being like Southern and country as like the twang.
Yeah.
So that's what we bring to the table. We like a mix of folk, blues, rock.
I mean, that's what we were surrounded by growing up. So, I mean, it was just playing in our house all the time. 80s rock for sure was playing in our house, but
all the time.
Yeah, so that's really just, you know, being in Nashville, experiencing all of that far away from home really inspired us to get in the studio. So after that, it took like kind of a year or two after graduation to get used to being an adult. So, you know, paying our bills and, you know, having to pay rent and all that fun stuff.
It's so easy to get distracted
Yes.
with life, and you're like, okay, how do I pay my bills? This business that I have right now is actually costing me money when I go play out, because I you know, pay the band and everything, and sometimes it's not a paid gig and it's for exposure. It's a big one. But well, I mean, I'm trying to think of how to phrase it right now, but it definitely is. There's a jumping off point after you graduate where you're just sort of, oh, I need to get a 9-to-5 job right now. But then when you get the 9-to-5 job, you realize you don't have any time or energy to put towards the things you're passionate about. Or at least I felt that way. I ended up working at a music store right after college, and I just felt like my spirit was like slowly like my creative spirit was just squashed, you know, and I didn't have an outlet for anything. I was basically in sales, you know. I ran a lesson program, I grew it a lot. I had the exact percentages memorized a while back, but I was really successful in that job, but I didn't love it, you know. And then I tried to resist my passion even more by going into another job where I managed another lesson program. And then it was by that time where I was like, you know what, I'm going to be stuck in this loop forever if I don't just take a chance, you know, if I don't just.
Yeah, and that's really what being in your early 20s is about, is just trial and error and realizing like it's either now or never. So that really is what, you know, kind of got us into the studio again to record down. And this all kind of happened, you know, coinciding with a tornado that like ripped through Nashville literally 2 days before we were set to release the song. And like, we couldn't change the release date, because whenever you upload it to CD Baby and all that kind of stuff, you can't, you know, change that. So it was just, it felt really weird, like doing self-promotion during that time. And I'm just like, it was just such a weird time of everything, but we ended up releasing it. And it's gotten a lot of traction. It's been really great.
We just hit 17,000 streams.
Yeah, on Spotify.
Which feels really, really good.
Literally went from 9 listeners to 12,000 in the span of 4 months. So it's insane. Like, we just got to keep momentum going the best we can, especially while everybody's, you know, inside. It seems like it's easy to just kind of say, well, we'll just sit and wait, but we're really trying to just keep momentum going the best we can right now.
Yeah, this is the time when you can get like more organizational work done and be like, you know, this is my plan, you know, for when things open up again and where I'm going to play, you know, because speaking it into existence works, you know, it really does. Like, we even made like a vision board at the beginning of 2020 before all the pandemic stuff happened, but
did not envision a pandemic.
Did not envision. That was not on the vision board. But CMA Fest was on there, you know. CMA Fest was on there, and
it happened, and then it just it's gone. But it'll happen again.
It will happen again. I hope they consider us again. But it's just, we did do it though. And it still feels like a win, because we would have been in it if it had happened.
And we know we can do it.
And we know we can do it. And it's like, we've been met with challenges this entire time. You know, I mean, like, just coming up to Nashville, trying to be an adult, you know, I don't feel like an adult, but
working in restaurants, having people be like,
Yeah,
what's
being a
your real
server.
job? All of that fun stuff.
Being a server, you know, like you pick these jobs that have like more flexible hours because, you know, then you have time for your creative pursuits. So when you're like serving people, you're kind of at the bottom of society, you know, or like people see you that way and they don't see you as a human being, and that's hard sometimes. But then you're like, I have this like cool alter ego thing going on, and I can just be Jaye Madison, you know.
Yeah, when you get on stage, you can just forget that, you know, you make like a measly amount per hour or whatever. But yeah, it's been a long journey that's just getting started, and it's really exciting. Next month we're going to be on a featured segment in Today in Nashville, which is a large you know, TV show here. So you know, we've got some cool things coming up, some cool things in the works. But I think if there's, did anyone have any questions? I don't know if we're gonna open up a question thing or if it's just, I've never done this before.
We did want to do a song for you guys, so we can do that first, or however it works.
I didn't hear you, sorry.
If y'all want to do your song first, and then we can open it up for questions.
Perfect.
Awesome. So this song's called Peace of Mind. We dedicated it originally to our parents because they've been there through thick and thin, and like it's just sort of about following your dream away from home, but knowing that you can turn to people you love for peace of mind.
And I think it's also just something that we all really need right now is peace of mind.
Exactly.
So hopefully it's relevant for everybody.
I don't think I ever thought I'd be here right now, that we would be so close, yet so far. But I'm following a dream, and now I don't know where it ends or begins. But I remember what you used to say, and I find my way. Baby, fight with all you've got. Nothing matters more than your heart. And if you ever find all you need is peace of mind, I'll be by your side. I get so angry sometimes. I spend my nights wondering why. It seems like I can't change, not without a whole lot of pain. But I'm still following that dream. Most days I still don't know what that means. But I remember what you used to say, and I find my way. Baby, give it time. 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 time. And if I ever find all I need is peace of mind. And if I ever find all I need is peace of mind, I'll be by your side. I'll be by your side. I'll be by your side.
That was wonderful.
Thank you guys for listening. I'm just so thankful that we have a way to express music right now, even if we can't in real life, and it's just beautiful. So thank you guys for listening. It really means a lot.
We have some time for questions now, so unmute yourself and ask them or type them in the chat bar.
I would just ask them, how can we follow them online?
Yeah, so you can find us. All of our handles online are Jaye Madison Band, Jaye Madison Band. We've got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and then we've got our website at jmadison.com.
And now a TikTok for the young
I don't know
people.
why you keep telling people that we have a TikTok.
We're gonna post on it soon.
We have not posted any,
but it's there.
Maybe we will. I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, we felt like we needed to get. And now I feel so old that I'm just like
I know,
the
I'm
youngins, but I'm like
I remember
23.
the days of Vine like 7 years ago. That was the old TikTok.
That's where you guys can find us, and we would appreciate a like, or
a share, a follow,
anything that you
keep up with us.
Hey.
So where can we download your song down at? And is the other one available, The Soul of Texas? Is that available also?
Yes, they're both available for download. We've got it on iTunes, we've got it on Apple Music. You can find all that information on our website and social media, but we're definitely on Spotify, all of the platforms really.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm seeing all these sweet comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I have a question. What was the most surprising thing about Nashville? I know you probably had some ideas when you got there about the way things would be. What do you think was the one thing that you were like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting this?
Honestly, I think that, I mean, coming from a small town and, you know, you see like Nashville in the media and like in the TV show Nashville and all that, like you think it'll be a lot more intimidating than actually, like it is intimidating. But whenever you get here, you realize like actually how collaborative and sweet people are for the most part.
Like you picture a place almost like Los Angeles or New York where it's a little bit more competitive feeling, but
Right.
in Nashville it's really not that way. I mean, of course there are exceptions and
I think the main difference too is in Nashville it's all about songwriting. It's all about the song.
That was my biggest surprise. We don't have to be the same one, but like the fact that you could be a songwriter and that could be your job and people
Right.
took it seriously was like the biggest surprise.
Because in LA and in New York, it's kind of more about the performance aspect of it. And then here it's more about, I think, the creativity and the collaboration. So it was honestly a great surprise because we probably, you know, had it in our head that it was going to be a certain way where it was going to be more intimidating than it actually was in real life. So I think that's why we just don't plan on going anywhere. We just love it here so much.
Cool.
Thank you, Virtue, for following us on Instagram.
I just found your song on YouTube.
Yes, it's on YouTube as well.
It is on YouTube. Soul of Texas has a music video that we did.
That didn't sound good.
Hopefully they're okay.
Pat Anderson can't have that effect.
I was shocked also that Pat found that on YouTube. It shocked me too.
They're having to sign back in. Just give them a sec.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what they were about to say was that the video on YouTube has a lot of footage of Hurricane Harvey from this area in it that you can check out if you watch the music video on YouTube.
Yeah, it's really neat. The girls were kind of all dressed up. It just kind of looks big time, so to speak.
I think they worked really hard. They really wanted it to represent how they were feeling about everything going on here, and it was hard for them being away from everyone. We were dealing with all of it here.
Yeah, Amy's cousin, Linda Davis, she lived there in Nashville, and she's from East Texas too. She's from Carthage, and she sang with Reba for years, and she's still there, and they do Christian music and stuff. And then, of course, I was telling her that Lady A, which they're getting sued, Hillary and them, they do pretty good with what they've done. They were supposed to be in Beaumont, but due to the pandemic, they didn't get to come to the gala. So they hadn't had it for Christmas.
Hey, I just want to say, Christy and Brian, I'm so glad y'all joined us today. I know you guys have got to be screaming proud. I mean, we are, and they're not even our girls, so I can only imagine how proud you are of them. And
I am so proud of them, and thank you, Cindy. You have always just been such a sweet support for them, and we really appreciate you too. And
well, yeah.
You always encourage them, even when they were little bitty girls singing the national anthem.
I know, it was great.
Was in and out so much. Would somebody please tell me how to find them on Instagram?
Just go to their, let's see if you can just get on Instagram and look for Jaye Madison Band. It's Jaye Madison Band, one word.
Okay.
Yes, band.
I just realized we were muted. Yeah, it's fine.
Jaye Madison Band.
There they are.
Okay.
Our laptop literally fell off of our desk.
Randomly, it's fine.
I think a ghost did it, but it's okay.
This is Regina Rogers. I want to add my congratulations also to Barbara and Mike Burrow, grandparents.
Yes.
And we're so proud of you. Wonderful. You bring honor to our community, to Southeast Texas. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much. They've been huge supporters of us the whole entire way. We couldn't have even gone to like Belmont without them.
Well, you've got wonderful grandparents. You're very blessed.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yes, and I'll throw in a plug for Brian's parents too, because they're awesome. That's Jan and Wendell Skinner. They live with us after Hurricane Harvey. And so anyway, they've been a tremendous support to the girls as well, all their live performances and everything through the years, as well as my parents, Mike and Barbara.
We've been very lucky to have a very supportive family and obviously a supportive community. So we appreciate you guys following us on our journey and just keep up with us. It's going to be a fun journey, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to keep at it.
Hopefully next year, you guys come to CMA Fest and we'll be on the spotlight stage and making that happen again.
We will make it happen.
I can remember your grandmother playing the piano at our church at West End Baptist Church many, many years ago.
She's still a very talented piano.
She's the first person that sat with me at the piano, and I tried to copy like her hands on the keyboard, like the chords that she was playing, and that meant a lot to me when I was growing up, because like I don't know, like it was just like really good family time and like just time with my grandma, like alone, you know. So yeah.
I think you girls are going to do really good with your personality. I think you'll really go far.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I'll tell my wife, Kay, that you said good things about her.
Okay, gotcha.
You guys know who his wife is, right? Kay Timaeus is who he's talking about.
No, I remember remember Miss K's face, but I could not think of the last name. I was like, is it Timaeus?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
She was a great part of our BCP journey. Is she still over there?
Well, yeah, they called off the program this summer because of all this mess. They're trying to figure out how to get back to it. But you know, now they've got, I think, 5 or 6 shows in the summer. They have, I think, 5 regular school shows, and then they have a show for disabled kids where they have shadow performers.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it really is cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So anytime you want to come back and play with us, you know, let us know.
I miss it. I miss musical theater so much.
That building like feels like home to me.
Yeah.
Like just we were there all the time, and it's just it was a big part of everything.
You don't know how hard she worked for that.
You're probably right. I don't know how hard, but it's very clear the efforts that she's put towards the program. It's amazing.
I remember BCP being in that little tiny school, you know, and not a lot of people remember that because it's just not like we're now in that big building. But I mean, even that little tiny school felt like a safe space for me, you know, and that's largely due to Kay and what she put in. So.
Wasn't that the building?
That and the rest of us chasing the mice as best we could get them out of there.
Wasn't that the building in Terrell Park? Was it Terrell Park where that first one was?
No, it was an elementary school off Vanette Road.
Yeah, that's where I'm talking about. That's in Terrell Park. That's where it was. I remember when it started.
Oh, there?
I think it was Terrell Park Elementary or something.
It was.
Wow. Wow. I wonder if it's still there. I literally.
I
haven't seen it since I was like 7, so I don't know.
Oh man, I just
remember how difficult it was to work in that building, you know, and being the husband, and you know, it was like I was the gopher.
Hey, but I'm telling you, as a kid who was there, we loved it. We loved every second of it.
But like now that we're in our 20s, we totally like see everything behind the scenes. Now, like so many people had to be part of all the productions that we were in, and we were just like kind of just in this like dreamy little world, like this is easy. All we just gotta do is show up.
Yeah.
But like so many parents like doing hair and makeup and costume shopping and all facials, all that stuff is like.
And now everybody's got a microphone, and you know, it's crazy.
Oh my gosh,
that's nuts! Wow, I love how it's grown. It's amazing, and I have literally most of my best experiences and memories from childhood are because of BCP.
Well, we started thinking too, like once things get back to normal, maybe we'll go be in a musical because we love it so
we
much,
miss
and we
it.
haven't done it in a while.
I know we miss it,
but yeah.
Well, let me
Well,
wrap
glad
it
you're
up. Thank you so much, Jordan and Madison, for joining us today. And this really has been a little piece of mind. It was such a nice break to just go down a little different road today. So thank you so much for sharing your gifts with us. We will make a donation in your name to the Rotary Foundation. The Rotary Foundation supports a whole lot of neat causes, but one that I thought about with y'all is one that was recently donated to the city of Bryan College Station. Rotary connects the world's musical playground. The Houston district donated it to our district, which is 5910, and it's at College Station's Veteran Park. And it is a playground that's got musical opportunities all around it for people, for the kids to play in. And I've seen some grown-ups playing in it too. So that just happened last week.
That's amazing.
So thank you so much for joining us. Our speaker next week is going to be Sherry Ulmer, with the Public Health Director for the City of Beaumont. She'll have a lot of timely information to share with us about the COVID crisis in the city. Reminders that we have a membership chat this afternoon, not a meeting. At 4 o'clock, call Deborah Drago or Jackie if you want to join us, and we'll give you the super secret link. And Then, in closing, we're going to say the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. So Rotarians, first, is it the
Is it the truth?
The truth.
Second, is it fair to all
Fair
concerned?
to all concerned.
Third, will it
Will
build
build goodwill and
Better friendships.
And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? So have a good week. Go out and find opportunities to lead and serve.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
ladies.
Thank you all for coming today, and thank y'all for sharing. I'm so glad your family members joined us.
Absolutely. You guys have a great day.
Thank
Y'all
y'all.
too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Great job. I
Bye-bye.
apologize for being so scatterbrained more than normal. That the guy wanted to talk to me right when it was time for me to talk.
Girls, before y'all sign off, make sure you read the chat box.